Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Newton Town Council meeting for April 27th, 2026. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Coos?
Here.
Mrs. Diglia? Here. Mrs. LaFois? Here. Mrs. Teets? Here. Mayor Dixon?
Here. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice that this regular meeting was given to the two newspapers of record and posted on the town's website and the official bulletin board. We're going to start off. We have a couple proclamations this evening. First, we have Eva Barry, the 2026 state wrestling champion. Join me over here. All right. Office of the Mayor, Newton, New Jersey, proclamation, Eva Barry, 2026 state wrestling champion. Whereas Eva Barry is a student athlete at Newton High School whose extraordinary dedication, discipline, and competitive spirit have brought remarkable distinction and pride to the town of Newton. And whereas Eva Barry made history becoming the first female wrestler from Newton High School to win a New Jersey State Wrestling Championship and the 83rd state champion in Newton High School history, the first since 1987, an achievement, the very highest honor in the New Jersey Scholastic Athletics. And whereas during the 2024-2025 season, Eva Barry compiled a brilliant record of 29 wins and 1 loss, competing at the 145-pound weight class, demonstrating exceptional skill and championship level performance throughout the season. And whereas Eva Barry captured the 100 Warren Sussex Championship for the 3rd consecutive time, the NJAC Championship for the 3rd consecutive year, becoming the first athlete in the history of that tournament to three-peat, and earning the Outstanding Wrestler Award and the District 1 Championship, also earning Outstanding Wrestler honors and the Region 1 Championship for the 2nd time. And whereas in her distinguished career at Newton High School, Eva Barry compiled a career record of 119 wins and 15 losses, becoming the first female student athlete in Newton High School history to record 100 career wins and amassed 4 NJAC championships, 3 HWS championships, 2 Region 1 championships, 1 district championship in the inaugural year for girls districts, 2 state runner-up finishes, and 1 New Jersey state championship. And where Eva Barry's achievements serve as an inspiration to young athletes throughout Newton and across New Jersey, proving that dedication and perseverance can break barriers and rewrite history. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the council of the town of Newton, Sussex County, New Jersey, on behalf of all the residents of our community, do hereby formally proclaim this day in honor of Eva Barry and recognize her as champion, a trailblazer, and an enduring source of pride for Newton High School and the entire town of Newton. Next, we have Eric Collette. Office of Mayor, Newton, New Jersey, proclamation, Eric Collette, head wrestling coach, Newton High School. Whereas Coach Eric Collette has dedicated himself to the student athletes of Newton High School, having served as wrestling coach since the 2001 and 2002 season, just completing his remarkable 25th season at the helm of the program. And whereas Coach Collette has built one of the most respected wrestling programs in the region, compiling an outstanding career record of 388 wins, 259 losses, and 1 tie, a testament to his sustained excellence and competitive spirit. And whereas under his leadership, the Newton Wrestling Program has qualified for 18 team sectional tournaments, advancing to the sectional finals on 4 occasions and capturing the team sectional championship in both 2009 and 2010. And whereas Coach Collette has been recognized by his peers and the wrestling community as a coaching exemplar, earning the District Coach of the Year award 4 times and the Boys Regional Coach of the Year honor 2 times. And whereas in the 2025 season, Coach Bullet achieved new heights by being named Girls Regional Coach of the Year and earning the prestigious State Coach of the Year distinction, reflecting his commitment to excellence for all student athletes. Whereas Coach Bullet's influence extends far beyond wins and losses through discipline, dedication, and the values of sportsmanship. He has helped shape the character of countless young men and women in our community. Now, therefore, the mayor and council of the town of Newton, county of Sussex, state of New Jersey, do I proclaim recognition and honor upon Coach Eric Bullet for his extraordinary service, dedication, and achievement, and extend to him an sincere gratitude and pride for the entire Newton community. Yeah.
I'll just quickly say congratulations to both Eva and to Coach. Eva, I was at the school board meeting last week, so I know they got the opportunity. I was going to try to reach out to you and tell you to wear the hat, you know, the champion hat, but congratulations. I mean, you know, and we were going to do this just a few weeks ago, but you had another opportunity to showcase your wrestling ability. So completely understand, you know, that this had to be delayed. But congratulations for representing Newton so well, not just across the state, but across multiple states. And to Coach Bullet, I seen you coach, you know, probably for the last 10 years or so. And I see, you know, how you interact with the athletes and what you bring to the program and stuff. So, you know, keep coaching, keep and keep producing those brilliant athletes that we have. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. I'll just add my thanks and congratulations. Eva, you know, you join a long list of Newton's greatest athletes, right? There's a wonderful history in the town of Newton when it comes to wrestling. And I know we were super excited when women's wrestling was established as its own program, right? For so many years, a small group of girls were brave enough to come wrestle with the guys. And then there were trailblazers like you and others who said that the sport demands a women's team on its own. And so we're so proud of you in, you've probably already heard, you know, some of these accolades, but trailblazer, breaking those ceilings, you know, thinking about when you were younger and didn't see a lot of female wrestlers, right? There were just a few, and saying, you know what, I can do this. I want to do this, and I'm going to be a champion someday. So just really commend you and the hard work that has gone into all of these years of success. And so for you to be representing the Braves proudly, we're just so proud of you. And you know, the town has always recognized excellence in wrestling. We have it on our signs when you come into town, and you know, we're proud of all of our student athletes, but wrestling's always had a sweet spot, I think, in the town of Newton for sure. So even much success to you. This is certainly not the last champion of anything that is coming forward to you. I know that you're going to be super successful because just the work ethic that you've had to put in to get this to be where you're at now is commendable. And Coach Bullet, champions are made because they have excellent coaches and leadership all around them. So I know that you're very proud of the student athletes that you continue to train and be a model for. And we're grateful to have you as their coach. And I'm sure that you know, the accolades that they've received and the wins that they have and the wins that you've been able to produce is because you have a certain level of expectation of excellence. And that's a good thing, right? Because it produces champions. So thank you both and your families. And I just want to thank you because as a mom of student athletes, when they were younger, it requires as much dedication from the families and the people that are driving you to practices and paying for equipment and all the hours to put in to support you as well. So thank you to the families for supporting our student athletes. Congratulations.
So while I may not have competed professionally or in high school as a wrestler. I did grow up with two younger brothers, so there was plenty of wrestling in the house. But I think that whether or not you know this, New Jersey, or sorry, Newton is the home of the Henry Borish, the founder of New Jersey High School Wrestling. And I don't know if you have a 38-year career in your future, Coach Billette, but your record of wins exceeds his. So you're definitely doing something right there at the high school. And between all of the wrestlers that I went to high school with, you were the coach the whole way, and I know it. Although I wasn't involved myself, I know it to be a very well-rounded, renowned program in the region, and anyone that comes out of the program, Eva herself, anyone else, they owe it to you. So congratulations on a job well done, and keep up the great work. And Eva, sky's the limit. Keep it up. Represent Newton well.
I just want to say congratulations to both you, Eva, and to Eric. Outstanding work. I have been on teams myself back in high school many years ago, so I know what it's like to compete and to win. And I want to say thank you very much for representing Newton in the manner in which you represent Newton. And I think it's time that we update our signs for wrestling that come into the town so that it includes our women's team as well. Time to update.
Congratulations, Coach Billette. It's not an easy job to coach. It takes a lot of long hours, but you're molding the individuals, and just the amount of success you've had, not only just producing champions, but you're producing outstanding individuals that go on to good things. And that starts and ends at you and the program that you kind of have formed. So congratulations on all your efforts. And Eva, congratulations. I mean, what to say? I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Awesome.
Blazing, breaking ceilings. So congratulations to you and your dedication to your sport. And I know it takes a lot of countless hours putting in all the work. And like Councilwoman LaFois said, the parents too, the support that you get from your family is also very important. So congratulations to the family as well. All right. Next up, we have the approval of minutes from the April 13th, 2026 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second that.
Motion from Councilwoman Teets and a second from Councilwoman LaFois. Roll call.
Mr. Coos,
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio,
Yes.
LaFois,
Yes.
Mrs. Teets,
Yes.
Mayor Dixon.
Yes. All right. At this point in the meeting, the town council welcomes comments from any member of the public on any topic. To help facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit the opportunity for anyone who wishes to be heard, speakers are asked to take one turn at the microphone and please limit their comments to 3 minutes. The clerk will keep time. If reading from a prepared statement, please provide a copy and email a copy to the clerk's office after making your comments so it may be properly reflected in the minutes. Council may choose to comment after the entire public portion has concluded. Please identify yourself and spell your last name for the record. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Akash, and I'm which owns the property located at 5 Slade Hill Road. I have submitted a subdivision application to bring the property into compliance by separating 3 existing homes into individual lots. The application has been filed. However, I have been informed that it will not move forward at this time due to a boundary dispute that is currently pending in court. A motion to dismiss has been filed with a hearing scheduled for May 22, 26, which is next month. I fully respect the legal and municipal process. However, I'm concerned about delays, particularly since no change to the property boundaries has been determined. One more time, particularly since no change to the property boundaries has been determined. I would also like to note that when I previously brought zoning concerns to the town's attention, including an unpermitted fence and shed from the neighboring property at 3 Slater Road, those matters were not formally resolved at the time by the zoning officer, then Ms. Brown. And again, were not acted upon when I raised them more recently in March with the new zoning officer, Ms. Helen Humbert. Additionally, when I applied for a fence permit on the property, I was denied, even though the proposed location complied with the ordinance by maintaining the required 1-foot setback. I personally articulated in front of the zoning officer for this 1 foot, basically in the ordinance of the town. As of today, the unpermitted structures encroaching from the neighboring property is still theirs. They are not removed. I am not here to assign blame, but to ask for clarity and consistency in how zoning enforcement is applied. My goal is simply to move forward properly, fairly, and without unnecessary delay. I respectfully ask for your guidance to ensure that the application is allowed to proceed in a timely and consistent manner. I understand the planning board operates independently, and I'm not asking for intervention, but I would appreciate any guidance that the council may be able to provide to ensure that the process moves forward fairly and consistently. Thank you very much for your time.
One, two. No worries. Okay. We'll close that portion of the meeting. And we'll move on to council and manager reports. Mr. Russo,
Nothing at this.
Councilman Coos.
Yes, speaking a little generally, there was some recent conversations going on within the social media groups online. Concerning brush and leaf pickup in town, and I just want to clarify this for anyone who may be paying attention. Just want to get the dates correct here. So presently, although the town newsletter went out, it specified that there was leaf collection going on. There was a question as to whether or not leaf collection and brush collection is occurring, as it has in the past. This has since been clarified that it is both leaf and brush collection that's going on. It started today and will be continuing through May 29th. It's not being done on a scheduled basis or a zone-based basis. It's being done randomly. And the folks down at the DPW, the guys down at DPW, will be collecting brush as they encounter it, as they go through their tasks throughout the day. There was a concern raised as to whether or not the indication of leaf collection was being done as a service reduction by the town. I just want to clarify that that is not the case. No reduction in services here. We are doing brush collection in addition to the leaf collection, as we've always done. Speaking a little more directly to Ms. Makaj's concern, or Dr. Makaj's concern, since there is a boundary dispute currently pending in court, I think it'd be best guidance from the council to seek attorney consultation if you're using one. We've had many applications come through the planning board where there have been encroachment issues and boundary issues, all of which have been referred to the courts for settlement before the planning board acted or moved forward with those applications. Beyond that, anything with the zoning official, is an executive function and we're a legislative body. So I would guide you to the executive, which is the town manager, and the zoning office, as we don't have any oversight directly over the executive functions that goes through the manager's office.
Thank you, Councilman Coos. Councilwoman LaFois.
Yes, first and foremost, I want to extend our condolences to the Bond family, on the passing of Chris Bond overnight last night. He is a retired DPW superintendent, family of service to the town of Newton, and certainly a loss that the community will feel, as undoubtedly his loved ones are, dealing with that. So just wanted to take a moment and recognize Chris and his service to the town and acknowledge his passing last night. In other news, many of us attended the Sussex County Chamber of Commerce Stars Awards, Annual Awards Luncheon on April 21st, and want to acknowledge all the nominees, several of which came from the town of Newton, and winners as well. Businesses or individuals from the town of Newton. So the town of Newton continues to have a wonderful showing at the county level for the recognition that is very much well deserved. So thank you to everyone that attended the event as well. I had the pleasure of attending Newton Medical Center, Atlantic Health, on behalf of Newton Medical Center and Hackettstown Medical Center's annual Wine and Roses fundraising event on April 15th. It was well attended, and it's great to see so many people from the community there to support certainly Newton Medical Center and the foundation and the good money that's raised there. I also, although I was not able to attend, I'm sure that Councilwoman Teets will make reference, or Mr. Russo has made reference, but I want to continue to congratulate, recognize Dr. Corey Homer and Sussex County Community College on another ribbon cutting and expansion of offerings up at the college. Dr. Homer, who did win an award last week, has done such an excellent job. And even just his short tenure, there seems to be wonderful new energy, and the faculty and staff and students are just so pleased, and the offerings that all of these ribbon cuttings, these programs that are being expanded are such important programs, and not just to expand for the sake of expanding, but certainly programs that are going to educate students for jobs readily available right here and now in the county to attract students to stay in town. So we love that. Congratulations to the college. And then Tom, I noticed in the Tap into Newton, there was a article referencing the county commissioner's last meeting, which referenced the upcoming infrastructure projects and facility updates in the town. There was specific mention of the Dennis Library bids, which, as many of us know, the Dennis Library has some matching funds coming from the college and has been put out to bid for its renovations to include accessibility, expansion, HVAC, all of which I think many of us are very much in support of, particularly because of the proximity to many of their seniors, the walking distance just a block away from Liberty Towers. The article referenced that the bids have that it's gone out to bid a couple of times, and that the bids have been higher than expected. So just want to make that comment publicly, Tom, and see if, there's any updates. I know that we have many advocates in the town that have been going to the commissioner meetings to speak on behalf of supporting that application, and all things are more expensive, particularly in the construction world. And I just want the commissioners to understand that that continues to be a priority project for the residents of Newton. So just wanted to make mention of that. Also on social media, JP, there's been a lot of question about the Memorial Day parade. So Sandy, certainly there is going to be a Memorial Day service that will continue, but there's been, I think, some mention of people saying there probably should be some sort of clarification or announcement that's been put out as to why the parade itself is not going to be happening. So I'm not sure if that should come out from I think that's done in concert with the VFW and the chamber and a few others, so, certainly talk about that at some point. Um, Tom and team, I got a couple inquiries over the last 2 weeks now that the DPW's been doing a great job of cleaning up from the winter debris. The Elizabethtown gas work that was done, and there's streets that appear that need paving, right? So I just wanted to make kind of a public announcement that there is a schedule around that, and that the work will be done, and, we continue to just let people know that things happen in time, and just because, the snow is now gone, it can't happen overnight, but that there is a schedule for the paving to be done, where Elizabethtown Gas has done some of the work. And then the last thing I'll just mention to Tom is that, we have a new business on Spring Street that's been doing extensive work that's getting ready to open soon. And there were some permanent stanchions that were placed on the sidewalk in front of, I don't know the address. JP, do you know the address? It's Tama's building, the restaurant. And there were permanent stanchions, and I'm not sure if those are up because it's going to be a delineation of where there's going to be outdoor dining and seating, and the proximity of that to, someone was concerned about the proximity of that to a pole that was there. So, I'm assuming that was approved.
173.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They need to delineate because of the alcohol laws.
Because of the alcohol laws.
They
Okay.
allow outdoor dining April 1 through end of October.
So they will have outdoor dining April 1, the end of October. Since they have a liquor license, they need to physically delineate where the outdoor seating is limited to, beginning and ending kind of.
Correct.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask about that so I could be properly informed when I go back to report back to the people that have asked about that. But it's really great to see continued work on that project, and we look forward to their opening. And I think that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Teets.
So I like when Helen goes first. She covers a lot of the same things that I would cover. But I would like to extend condolences as well to the Bond family. So to Jeannie, Carly, and Jeffrey, our prayers and our thoughts are with you. Chris Bond was one of the first people outside the police station that I met when I started dispatching decades ago. And he was my go-to person because, we didn't have, we couldn't always Google everything. And so he'd be my phone a friend option a lot of times, especially when our officers were busy. He just had a lot of knowledge of the town and, a lot of contacts and stuff. So, sorry for your loss to the Bond family. And bulk pickup is this Saturday. So if you haven't gotten your permit yet, you have to get it very soon by reaching out to our DPW. And as Helen mentioned, Mr. Russo and I did attend the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new learning facility, or the renovated learning center up at the college. And as Helen mentioned, everything that's been happening up at the college and under the leadership and guidance of Dr. Homer is incredible. And it's fun to watch all that they've accomplished. And, I was joking with Dr. Homer that I was in the library in the other building, and he kind of gave me a look. I go, it was decades ago. So apparently he had no idea the library existed in a separate building. But it was fun. And again, it's just great to see all the participation of the students, the faculty, the county representatives. So I know the college has been partnering with a lot of four-year universities to continue on the education. So it's just, looking better every semester for the college, doing great things. And I attended the last school board meeting, which was on April 21st. The next meeting is scheduled for May 5th. At this past meeting, it was very well attended in the beginning of the meeting as they gave out awards for the reading programs to the Merriam Avenue and Halsted students. And then some high school, some of the high school students read some poetry, and some was like already written poetry that they had read, and then there was new work that one of the students read from. So it was great to see the talent there. And the band even played during the intermission. So after the awards, so it was a nice meeting until they got to their budget and the issues that they're having as well. So we can sympathize there. But that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Digglio?
First, I would like to extend my sincere sympathy to the Bond family. We've been friends for many, many years, so I knew it was coming, but like always, when it comes, it's still a shock. On April 24th, last week, I had the pleasure of bringing my 3 grandchildren who were visiting from Vermont. They had off to the Bring Your Children to Work. And I have to say, my grandchildren were very pleased. And I want to thank, Detective Pete for all the time he spent with the drone with my grandsons and granddaughters. They were very impressed, as was I. The drone is amazing in what it can do. And as far as the Memorial Day, I did address that in Facebook today. The decision to not have a parade was made by the members from the VFW and the American Legion due to lack of support from their own organizations. They decided they did not want to do the parade. However, they wanted to continue with the memorial service that we hold at Memory Park. That will take place at 11 o'clock. And I am in the process of making the arrangements for all the different things that will take place during that ceremony. And so just to clarify that, so people know exactly who made the decision. And depending on how people respond to the service, will probably determine what their response will be for next year, based on what they've told me already. So just to verify that.
Thanks, Eddie.
That's it?
Finished?
Okay, thank you, Sam. All right, obviously, everybody kind of touched on everything. Condolences to the Bond family, though. Congratulations to the award winners from the chamber. I do want to point out there are a couple new businesses that are going to be opening up. La Casa de Campo on 11 Main Street. They're opening up at the end of April here, and then Sweet and Swirl at 192 Spring Street on May 8th. So couple new eateries coming to Newton, so that's exciting. And that's all I have at the moment. Thank you. All right. Moving on, we're going to move on to an introduction for ordinance 2026-11. It's an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement a portion of chapter 213 of the town code at the town of Newton, County of Sussex, state of New Jersey, entitled Property Maintenance. What is that? Lead-based paint inspections. Yes, sorry. I have a motion.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance 2026-11.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Teets and a second from Councilwoman LaFois. Roll call.
Mr. Coos?
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. LaFois?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
The public hearing on the ordinance will be held on Monday, May 11th at 7. Or soon thereafter, as a matter of the year.
Thank you. Next up is our consent agenda. All items listed in asterisks are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the town council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Mr. Russo, could just.
Yes, sir. Resolution 144 is a disclosure contract for HFE services. 145 and 146 are contracts with Suburban Consulting for various projects. 147 credits to water sewer accounts. 148 and 149 concur with recommendations from the Utility Advisory Board. 150 is a resolution to read budget by title. 151 bills and vouchers.
Any resolution anybody wishes to? If not, I'll take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I will second.
I have a motion from Deputy Mayor Diglio and a second from Councilman Teets.
Mr. Coos?
Abstaining from check 15502. Yes, otherwise.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. All right, at this portion, we will open the meeting back up to the public. Anyone in person wishing to come to the microphone, please do.
During your house. Thank you again. I appreciate the suggestions to follow up with the town manager. And all the time, my goal is simple. To move this subdivision application forward in a fair and consistent manner. That's the way.
Thank you. Is there anyone online? All right, we'll close that portion of the meeting. Next up, we have a hearing on the 2026 budget. We'll open for Mr. Russo for the presentation.
Yeah, if you can do a motion and second roll call to
Okay.
open the hearing, and then we'll walk through the
Absolutely.
steps. Thanks.
Motion to open the hearing.
And I'll second.
Motion from Councilwoman LaFois, second from Councilwoman Teets. Roll call.
Mr. Coos?
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
So before Mayor, I do my presentation, we have some brief remarks from our second favorite auditor. Get the joke. John Mooney from Nisavacia is here to give us a lay of the land as far as the auditing world. It seems to be an exciting time for budgets and audits in the state of New Jersey. So I'll turn it over to John.
Thank you, sir. After this meeting tonight, I have to go back to Knowlton, which is hometown, but they also have their budget introduction tonight. So they're waiting on me to get there for that one. So we'll get through this. Months and months ago, this began with Mr. Ferry, Mr. Russo putting the budget together. And on March 23rd, you introduced the budget. Prior to that, I was able to review the budget along with Mr. Ferry. And I usually, when I get a budget from a client, it usually makes me cringe, but very few even points to make. And I expected that. You know, you have two auditors here who basically worked on your budget together, or at least one in a review capacity. And we thought that the budget was, you know, top notch, and we still do think it's top notch and excellent. And you're provided with all the information you're going to get from Mr. Russo in a little bit here. But one of the things that took place after your introduction was it went down to the state of New Jersey for state review. And I've had 5 now. I have 20 in total, but 5 went down so far to the state, and 3 came back where they're asking us to amend. I don't know what's in the water in Trenton, but they're not doing any of the municipalities up here any favors at all. They're being very nitpicky, and that's to put it mildly. I usually like to rail on the state, but I'll refrain because we're all friends here tonight. So we'll push back on that. But what's going to happen tonight is you're not able to vote on the budget. You're only able to open the public hearing on the budget. After the public hearing is done, again, you'll take no action, but then you'll introduce the amendment. And when we get to that point, we'll explain why there's an amendment and what we need to do going on from there. With that said. Sure.
So there's a tweak to the, I'll just mention it for the record. It's for the water sewer utility. There's an adjustment on the surplus anticipated and the deferred charges. Tom, I don't know if you want to just reference that for the record, the special emergency appropriation adjustment they told us we had to do.
So we had the earthquake and it rocked the water and sewer treatment plant where I'm pretty sure it was a digester or something. And it was like a little more than $500,000. That was April of 24. In July of 24, before I was here, a special emergency was done. However, it wasn't specifically listed under that Title 40A. It listed hurricanes, floods, road damage, but earthquakes is not listed. Therefore, when the state reviewed the budget, they said you can't, so a special emergency gets raised 1/5 for 5 years. So last year we raised 1/5, $116,000. This year, when it went down to the state, they said it's not part of Title 40A. It's not 1/5. Therefore, you have to raise the full amount in this year's budget, $460,000. Mr. Moody did the best he could. He was the bad cop. And said, this is a hardship, blah, 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 it's under the spirit of the law. It should be part of an act of God, like a hurricane or a flood. They didn't see it that way. So what you have in front of you is basically the amendment. That's why we can't adopt. We can have a public hearing first. After the public hearing, we close that. And then we're going to introduce the amendment. And now we have to go to May 11th to adopt that amendment, have a public hearing on it, then adopt the amended budget. But that's going to be May 11th. So that's what happened.
Still puts us before our, I think, May 30th deadline, right? Is it May 30th and we have the deadline
Yeah.
to adopt? Yeah.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
second public hearing would just be on the amendment.
The second public hearing is only on the amendment, but the vote will take place for both the amendment and for the budget that night as well.
So is the state considering to at some point amend the list of items that fall under?
So I was pretty annoyed, to say the least, today, and I went around to my partnership group and I found a new term that the state is an enabling legislative state, which means that if it's not written specifically the way you need it in the statute, it does not apply. So if earthquakes are not in there, they're not in there. And I don't see them changing.
Because the last time I checked for California, we couldn't predict when the earthquakes were gonna happen, so.
You could not, and we cannot here either. And it's an emergency. As far as I'm concerned, it's an emergency, and that's why it never was an issue until it became an issue. And go ahead.
The governor didn't declare it an emergency because there was really not a lot of damage that it caused. So he didn't, at that point, didn't declare it an emergency. If he declared it as an emergency, even if it's not written in the bill, you could have done a 1/5.
Yeah.
So would it mean anything for a letter to come from Mr. Russo and this governing body to ask the state to consider updating their statute?
I would not, because I don't think it would go anywhere. And I think you're going to be fine just the way the budget is amended. It's just going to have an impact to this year rather than be spread out over the next 3 years. So
So as a matter of clarification, so we set aside 116,580 last year, right? And the rest was supposed to be spread. So the 466 is not inclusive of the 116, and that's in addition to,
So
or that?
in essence, I put 116 in this year's budget. So
Right.
really, it's just going to be another 300 something thousand. And I took it out of fund balance because, we've been lucky where our fund balance has been really good.
I just want to clarify, it's a delta between
Yeah.
the two, okay?
Question, was that the fund balance for the water and sewer or the fund balance, it was for the water?
Water and sewer. Yeah, that was a water and sewer, it was a sewer treatment plant
Water
where
and
the
sewer.
damage was done.
and I know I shouldn't, but I can't help myself because you're the governing body. You need to know. The state of New Jersey came back with their list maybe 10 to 13 days ago. And Mr. Ferry had gotten the list together of all the answers, sent it down Monday, maybe Tuesday of last week. And it took an email from me to go back down to the state to ask where are we at with this on the night of the adoption. So they had plenty of time to review the answers and read through the answers And then they gave us the response back in 0 hours. So there's really not a whole lot we were even able to do or fight or argue through it because they gave us no time.
So in my whole career, I've never seen a state exam have 26 questions. 26. Have you seen that many?
This year.
Last
The
week.
worst I've ever seen it was maybe 15, and they deserved it, one of my towns. Because they didn't let me review the budget. So, it is what it is. But I've never seen that many questions ever.
Yeah, in one of my towns this year, I was asked where the state aid numbers came from. I felt like saying, just walk down the hall and ask the person
Check
who
with
posted the
your-
letter. Yeah.
Tom, were they valid question? I mean, valid inquiries or?
Some were ridiculous. Now, I don't, and I haven't heard back from them. So I don't know if I'm gonna hear from them tomorrow. But we got to do what we got to do. We got to get this budget. So that's why we pushed this amendment through at like at 5 o'clock. John was good enough to look at it and review it so that we can at least introduce it tonight. So we're not going to be, going to the end of May now for the budget.
All right, so John, I'll do my PowerPoint. We'll have public comment. We'll close the hearing on the budget, the original budget, or do you want to keep that at bay? You
Do
want to,
keep that open until the public is done, or I don't know how you're.
well, do we need to carry that through to the May 11th, or we can conclude that
Well,
initial?
we can conclude that tonight,
Okay,
right? Yep.
and then you want this numbered as a resolution 153 for the town and add that to the agenda, or you want that just noted? How should they?
It's gotta be added to the agenda at the close of the public hearing.
Yes.
Sorry, Joe.
No.
And then you want this on the agenda as 153 voted on at the next meeting, right?
Yeah.
Because they need a copy of it.
Right. We introduced it
Mail it.
tonight. It has to be advertised.
3 days prior.
Right, to the meeting.
And then you want us to table 152, the adoption one, the mother load one that's currently on the agenda. We should table that to May 11th, no?
Carry it. Don't need to table
Right?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll carry that to.
it.
Are we carrying
The
comments
for those who, here's the situation. Because the state will not allow you to adopt, because they are making an amendment pursuant to local budget law. You will have the hearing on tonight on the budget as presented. You will close the hearing tonight on the budget as presented. You will adopt the resolution amending the budget because for some unknown reason, this is the only resolution that requires 2 readings.
Yeah.
Which is a contradiction to what the state law says, because a resolution does not require 2 readings. But the state determines this to be a 2-reading budget. You will have a public hearing on the 11th of May solely on the amendment. And then once the public hearing on the amendment, you will adopt the resolution to amend the budget, and then you will adopt the whole budget as amended.
Correct.
Yep.
And I gave up my auditing degree, so.
I don't blame you.
Pretty straightforward. All right, let's turn it over to the PowerPoint. Thanks, John. Council received this prior to.
Hey, Tom, John, you want to stay?
No,
Or-
you gotta go to your
You
next.
gotta
one,
go.
right?
Okay.
No, you sure? I don't
You
want
good?
I'm
Okay.
Till the end.
All right, fiscal facts, we like to provide this to the public annually, the breakdown of the infamous dollar I took from Randolph many moons ago. The Board of Education is approximately 49% of the tax dollar in the town. Town of Newton is approximately 35%, County of Sussex 15%, County Library 1%, and open space. Those are the 5 items that make up your tax dollar in the town. Appropriations 25V26. Last year, 16,087,577. This year, 17,080,346. You see the percentages. Last year, subtotal salaries, health, dental, vision, work comp, pensions, FICA, SUI, retirement, LoSAP, accumulated absence, 65%. Almost the same this year, 64.8. the Tom Ferry slide. Top 10 budget appropriation increases by dollar amounts. Debt service is driving a lot of the budget increase this year. The change is 527,439. It's 29% change. That's new principal and interest on bands. Group insurance, the bane of everybody's existence in government in New Jersey, up 437,795. That's 17.91%. Police S&W up 370,333. That's up 12.77. That's staffing plus contractual. PFRS, that's police fire pension, 8% increase, 65,829. Those numbers are given to us by the state. Municipal court S&W, court staffing coverage up 40,292. Percent change, 26.6. There might be some changes in court later this year that we have to anticipate. Board of Health other expenses, increase of 33,600. That's dollars appropriated to the homelessness task force. Other insurance liability up 32,540. Those are insurance costs. That's 14%. Municipal court other up 26,600. We moved the judge to OE. Finance other up 24,000. That's 165%. New lines for purchasing agent and planner moved from community development, and town manager other up 18,100. That's 14.9. Website codification, marketing, computer and technology. Pardon the smallness of the numbers here. You had received this prior to, since it's a significant tax increase. Where is it coming from? So out of the 387 on the average house, the increase in taxes is really driven by PFRS, group insurance and debt service alone. That's $321.97 of the total on the average assessed property. Revenue history from 22 through 26. You can see state aid is relatively consistent. Local fees fluctuate. Fund balance utilizations at 2.3 million. Delinquent taxes 260. Municipal, we're going out for 11.3. Shared services, 280,000. Grants is a snapshot in time as of the writing of the document, and then special items of revenue, 918, for your grand total of 17,080,346. The NVT has gone up from 1.1 billion to 1.148 billion for 2026, and we are still dealing with the reality of a 1/3 tax exempt tax base. The average residential property assessment has gone from 338,127 to 358,663. So based on the budget and levy as proposed, average taxes municipal 3,149 goes to 3,536, which is an increase of $1 a day, roughly. Tax rate history, 2017 through 2026, just kind of fleshes out a lot of the numbers that I showed to you previously. NVT, tax point, tax rate, the residential taxable number of parcels, et cetera, and the residual increase on the average property. I updated the chart this year to show the increase since 2003 annually, but also the assessed value. So you can see the assessed values have gone from 126.31 many moons ago to the current 358,663. That those numbers could go north as the housing market in New Jersey is still very strong. And if the interest rates come down as expected this summer, there could be some additional housing pressure and boom as far as sales and valuation. So that number could get closer to 400,000 potentially. Fund balance keeps getting smaller font. I'm running out of room, but we do keep track of our fund balance going back to 1983. So the total surplus available was 4,412,109, second largest we've had. Amount used for the budget was 2.3, balance 2,112,109. Revenue comparison, we go back to 2014, and this breaks down fund balance, anticipated energy receipts, similar data from the other pages, and this is just how we keep track of all the revenues for the current fund. Capital projects, which we discussed with all the department heads. We talked about the road improvement projects. We talked about DPW security, the Kubotas, the paint machine. All these things were discussed at the hearing that we had with all the department heads. And this is a snapshot from what we discussed prior to. Also, water and sewer is on here, which we'll get to in a minute. Speaking of the aforementioned water sewer budget, as originally discussed, 6,200,450. That will change to 6,550,190. We provide service to 2,784 accounts, and we try to maintain staffing and operations and fulfill our obligations for health, safety, and welfare of the community. Slide 14 in your PDF, you have water sewer budget revenues. So we ended the year last year with the fund balance of 3,232,678. The goal was to anticipate 1,056,931 in the budget. New number will be 1,406,671, thanks to the state of New Jersey, but we do maintain a healthy fund balance as part of our water sewer operations, and you all get monthly reports from all of the engineers doing a lot of great work on the projects. We have about 24 million in projects that we're working on currently. It's a lot at once, but everybody's working really hard to get these things done, and appreciate the engineers helping us with the funding from various grant funding sources like iBank. Capital projects, we talked about the garage for the sewer plant, security cameras and access controls, New Hampshire Street, we're upgrading the water main, and the lead service lines, all the towns are dealing with that, and we're looking to continue our work with that. And then I just want to thank everybody. A tough budget year for a lot of communities, but a lot of hard work went into this document. And like I said, you have those three main pressure points of the debt service, the police pension, and the health insurance costs that really are unfortunately common across the board in a lot of these communities. I'm sure John sees what these other budgets look like, but I think it's a reasonable budget. I think we work through the challenges this year as a team and, do what we can to mitigate costs and monitor expenses. Staffing, we're very conscious of, and, just work through the challenges this year in the hopes that next year, presents a different picture. But this is an accurate representation of where we are right now as far as the budget 2026 Newton edition. And as always, I appreciate the opportunity to serve the town and the public. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russo.
I mean, despite the increase on the benefits, while it's very uncomfortable, it's certainly not as high as other municipalities through the state that are seeing double what we're seeing. So if there's any consolation in that, it could have been a lot worse, that's for sure. But thanks, Tom, you and your department heads, Tom Ferry, everybody who was working on this budget. It was a difficult one for sure, as the budget hearings were about.
All right. Anybody from the public that wishes to comment? Step up to the microphone.
Oh, we have one. Patrick Fahey.
Mr. Fahey?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mayor and council, appreciate your time. As far as the budget's concerned, I want to certainly thank everybody's efforts in creating this budget. Everyone is facing tough times, as you know, but just some points of emphasis I'd like the council to hear for feedback. In looking it over, I just, again, what is the rationale for what seems to be higher and higher normal levels of fund balances? We just heard the town manager say this is the second highest fund balance in the history of the town. And I think we should take a second look at that and possibly, revise that going forward. $4 million in sitting in reserves when it can be used to help possibly, lower taxes. I know that, some people say, well, it's not that significant. We want to save for a rainy day. But again, second highest fund balance in the history of the town for, going back numerous of years. I'm not saying, throw the baby out with the water. But again, it's something to take a look at with that. Secondly, I'd like to talk about the capital budget and just some questions about the Babe Ruth Field upgrades. While I'm happy the town is looking to do that, with going out to bond for $1.2 million, obviously looking to recuperate some of that money through grants or through the federal government. Can we look forward to having some type of formal presentation on the proposed upgrades of the field when you're talking to bond $1.2 million for this project? I'd like to see a formal plan presented. Also in that venue, have we looked at, and again, no disrespect to the time and effort put into this project. I know it's been ongoing. We've had engineering firms looking at this property, and it seems, we've stumbled across problems along the way. So I'm glad to see a cohesive plan to, try to fix this. And I would love to have our Newton Baseball High School baseball team have a home field here in Newton. But have we looked at multi-purpose field usage with this plan? If we are going to really, elevate the field and put in brand new dugouts and all great stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not opposed to it. But could we look at multi-purpose usage to maximize the limited space in there? You're talking about very cost effectiveness, cutting the grass, water, fertilization. Could synthetic turf possibly be considered? It could be a savings of, mowing, lining the fields. These sports fields are important, and they can accommodate a diverse community with football, lacrosse, baseball, soccer. Again, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not knocking the plan. I think it's great. But again, just a viewpoint to put out there of possibly a multi-purpose usage. Maybe, planning a smaller sided soccer field if there's room there. Again, I know landscaping trailers have to be replaced. Turf tanks are being talked about.
Mr. Fahey,
Yes.
time is up. Thank you
Okay.
for your comments. Any other?
No other comment.
All right. Seeing none, we'll close that. I do want to make a comment after that. The fund balance was over $4 million, but we did use $2.3 million of that this year to offset the taxes, and that was the highest amount we've used since going back to 1983. So we did take that into account. We did utilize our fund balance, and I think as far as like why we want to have a fund balance, perfect example is we just had to use it for water and sewer with the earthquake when the state said that doesn't qualify underneath the emergency. Emergencies like that and unexpected expenditures like that are the reason why we want to have a healthy fund balance. The other comments were the Babe Ruth Field. That's been a project for many, many years now, and I know that there was proposals from Suburban at some point. I don't remember exactly when to tell you to go back and reference and look, but we did have presentations with Suburban with all the options being weighed. So I apologize. I'll look that up and try to get that to you.
Yeah, and the reality is we don't have the money to do the project without grant funding, so there is no project without us getting external sources at that price point of 1.2.
Correct.
And, there's certain limitations and restrictions because of its proximity to Moores Brook, to the sewer treatment plant. So the plan, there's a lot of time the past few years that have gone into the plan to make it both financially feasible, put that in air quotes, but also environmentally feasible and practical at the same time. And so we're trying to check every box, but let's see if we get the funding first through Congressman Gottheimer's office, and then, if we're successful, then I think that might be the time to have the presentation. But that design is locked in and that has been submitted to the state, and let's see if we get the funding first, and then maybe if it doesn't transpire, that might be the opportunity to reassess and think outside the box. But right now we're just
Very good. So what we are going to carry?
No, you're going to make a motion first, Your Honor, to close the public hearing on this budget.
Yes. All right. So I will need a motion to close the public hearing on this budget.
I will make a motion to close the hearing on this public budget. A second.
A motion from Councilman Teets and a second from Councilman LaFois. Roll call.
Mr. Coos?
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
Mrs. LaFois?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
Next item, Your Honor, members of the governing body, is to introduce resolution R 153. which is the amendment to the water and sewer budget.
So I'm looking for a motion to introduce resolution 153.
I will make the motion to introduce resolution 153, or is it 152?
153.
153.
And I will second.
I have a motion from Deputy Mayor Diglio and a second from Councilwoman Teets. Roll call.
Mr. Coos?
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
Mrs. LaFois?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes. And
Second reading on resolution 153 will be on Monday, May 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter may be heard. The next item of business would then be a motion to continue the budget process to the same time.
all right, so I need a motion then to continue the budget to the May 11th meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion from Councilwoman LaPod, a second from Councilwoman Teets.
Mr. Coos?
Yes.
Mrs. Diglio?
Yes.
Mrs. Teets?
Yes.
Mrs. LaFois?
Yes.
Mayor Dixon?
Yes.
It's nice, Your Honor, to see that the purple pencil people are back in business again down in Trenton.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
John.
See trip.
Thank you.
I know, right?
It's not the first time he's had one that doesn't go much.
Yeah.
Guys are not keeping me on my toes. It's all right. It's fun.
Wow.
All right. So next up, any council manager comments?
Yes, I would like to just follow up on Mr. Fahey's comments as well.
Okay.
So, as not to mischaracterize the conversation, Mr. Fahey, if you have the opportunity to go to the town's website or our YouTube page and review the budget hearing meeting. At the tail end of that meeting, in our final comments, one question that I did raise at that time was leveraging more fund balance. There was a conversation that went into the details of that at the time. But again, I don't want to mischaracterize what was said, but I do encourage you to review that section just to have a better understanding of the discussion that did already occur on that point. Furthermore, within the Babe Ruth field area, although the Babe Ruth field is the term or the phrase that's used as the descriptor for that part of Memory Park, there is additional land that is utilized in that same section of the park for multi-purposes. Growing up in town, I played rec soccer behind the baseball field, but in the same section previously used as a field hockey field. This predated the high school's introduction of lacrosse, but that section of the park, although does have a very specific designated baseball field, which is what has commonly been used during these discussions, it is a multi-purpose area that also had a rain garden with a lot of water saturated trees planted at one point as a mitigating purpose. But it's an excellent point that you raised, but it absolutely is a multi-purpose section of the park. The last point that I'd like to bring up is a little more somber, focused on the Memorial Day Parade. And this is more of a personal perspective here. I think that of all of the parades that we have in town, the Memorial Day Parade is perhaps the most important one to have. Although the organizations who have historically supported this event have a different perspective this year, I think it challenges us when we look at the purpose of Memorial Day to honor those who either by choice or through a conscription decided to give their lives to protect our way of life. In order for us to have the other parades that we want to have, the quote unquote fun parades, it's important to remember that without the service that was provided to our country by those who were honoring on Memorial Day, the other parades would not be possible. So if we're in a position where the precedential organizations aren't willing to support or sponsor the event, it may be the town's responsibility, perhaps, to pick this up, maybe solicit alternate organizations and not necessarily rely on the interests of organizations who aren't sure if they want to move forward with this. And I think that it's also apropos to look at the last stanza of John McCrae's In Flanders Fields and say, take up our quarrel with foe, to you from falling hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Mayor, if I can, I just want to underscore Councilman Kuza's comment on the fund balance. Our ability to use $2.3 million this year of the fund balance to offset the budget is only because of the sound fiscal decisions of several previous years, the last 18 or so at least, to make sure that we were depositing money into, or, putting money into the fund balance. So it's not just for like the rainy day that I think there's a perception of, but it is to sustain ongoing increases year over year when we utilize the fund balance to offset the budget because of things particularly out of our control, like increased costs on healthcare, an earthquake that is apparently not an emergency, other utility increases, and other expenses as a result of caps that the state implements or other, non-rateable properties, as the county seat with, a third of the properties being non-rateable. Again, we're only in this positive financial health situation because of the fact that we have the fund balance to rely on to offset the budget year after year. Could you imagine what the tax increase would have been this year if we only had $1.3 million to use to offset the budget, right? At roughly $66,000 per tax point, we could do the math on what $1 million would be. It would have been a hefty increase. So I just wanted to kind of underscore and mention that, JP, because it was very much discussed during the budget hearings, but I think that's a point of clarification that is worth repeating a couple of times, that the fund balance, the strength of the fund balance allows us to offset future expenditures out of our control.
Well said. All right. Any other comments? All right. We have no executive session, so I will take a motion to adjourn at 8:20.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:20.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Dietz, second from Councilman LaFois. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Happy Mother's
Thank you.
Day.